Office of the Coordinator of Inter-American Affairs presents Belo Horizonte, a planned city with a plan. Less than 50 years ago, Brazil's Coral del Rey Mountains looked down on a hamlet hidden among the rolling foothills. Today, on this site, stands Brazil's seventh city, Belo Horizonte, home of over 200,000 far-thinking people. Capital of the state of Minas Gerais, located in the south-central part of Brazil, Belo Horizonte is 287 miles from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil's largest city and world-renowned for its fabled beauty. "463 miles from São Paulo, Brazil's second city and the ranking industrial city of Latin America. Prior to the year 1897, the unique and interesting colonial city of Ouro Preto, now preserved as a national monument, served as capital for Minas Gerais. But enterprising mineiros, or miners as citizens of this state are called, with characteristic foresight saw the need for a more centrally located city, one which would permit unlimited expansion. The foothills of the Coral del Rey Mountains were selected as the site. But before ground was broken, literally before one pickaxe disturbed the serenity of the lovely hills, engineers and architects translated into maps and blueprints the hopes and dreams of the founding fathers. A people's pride envisioned this model inland city. A people's spirit and strength built it. Justifiably proud is the Mineiro of his public buildings and his leading officials. The governor's palace, residence of the state's chief executive, the Department of Interior, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Education, the main post office, the City Hall, executive offices of the mayor, capable, enthusiastic Dr. Juscelino Kubitschek. But Belo Horizonte is more than a seat of government. It is the commercial hub of a state fabulously rich in natural resources. A visit to the Feira de Amostras, a building erected to house a permanent exposition of the economic wealth of this great state, will help to explain the phenomenally rapid growth of its principal city. It has been said that the state of Minas Gerais has a chest of iron and a heart of gold. Here, the history of gold is the history of colonial Brazil under Portugal, and more particularly of the development of the state of Minas Gerais. For 350 years, in this oldest, richest gold mining community of Morro Velho, within sight of Belo Horizonte, Brazil produced more gold than the rest of the Americas combined. Intensive and careless exploitation, plus a natural depletion in reserves, has reduced Brazil today to 12th place among world producers. Even this comparatively small output of gold reflects itself on the economic life of the city. The gold era is gone, but a new era is being ushered in. King Iron, long a slumbering giant in the mountains of Minas Gerais, is beginning to stir. 1/4 of the total known iron reserves of the world are in Brazil. At Itabira occurs the largest single deposit. The hilly streets and roads in and around this mining town are literally made of iron. This peak is estimated to contain over 100 million tons of hematite. So high grade is the ore that the average will assay 68% of a theoretically possible 72% of pure iron. The railroad from Belo Horizonte is being extended to the peak, by cutting through mountain passes and by filling in deep gorges. Building roadbeds is no simple engineering problem in this rugged terrain, but the work goes on. The ore, much of which will be used to make these very rails, is loaded into heavy-duty trucks and hauled several miles to the railroad terminus. From this point, the ore train proceeds toward the railroad yards of Belo Horizonte. At this important junction, some of the cars may be sent to the foundries in São Paulo. Most of them will go on to a large steel, wire, and rail mill at Monlevade, employing over 2,000 people. This mill, the only rail rolling mill in South America, is but the vanguard of even larger mills and foundries now in construction. Brazilian industry, responding to the tasks imposed by the war, is on the march. Well do the Mineiros know that in this great drama, on which the curtain is now only rising, their state and their capital city are destined to play important roles. On display in the exhibition building, a visitor will see two other minerals, quartz crystal and mica, both native to this state. The exigency of war has skyrocketed these minerals to an even higher place of prominence than they originally enjoyed in the peacetime markets of the world. Quartz crystal, of which this mounted specimen is an outstanding example, today is an indispensable strategic material. It's the special electrical property of this mineral which has made it possible for the armed forces of the United Nations to have such highly sensitive and accurate communicating and detecting devices. Indeed, without Brazilian quartz, many of these devices would not exist. While a great share of the mining operations is done by mechanized equipment, manual labor is imperative in order to prevent injury to the crystal. Enjoying equal fame with quartz as an essential sinew of war is mica. The property of heat and electrical resistance makes this mineral invaluable in the manufacture of airplane spark plugs, radio tubes, magnetos, and many a secret military device. Again, from the rich subsoil of Minas Gerais comes this vital material. In the cutting and trimming shops, busy Mineiros, men, women, and children, keep these leaves of mica moving toward the stockpiles of American factories and arsenals, and thus are contributing their very ample share to the cause of freedom. Numerous and varied are the other minerals on display at the Feira, all of them contributing to the prosperity of Belo Horizonte.